It was a nice, cool night in New York City. Katie had just finished eating dinner and was leaving her apartment. She was leaving Max all by himself again. When Katie left, Max stared at the door. Max was trying to figure out this unusual behavior of Katie's. She had been gone from her home a lot most often than she has before. Just then, a voice called from the building across. "Hi, Max!" It was Gidget, the Pomeranian. "Beautiful evening, isn't it?" "It is, Gidget," said Max. "Mind if I come over and visit?" Gidget asked. "Sure, it's sure is lovely over here, and I could use the company," said Max. Gidget happily swung over to Max's apartment, hitting the window on the way. Max opened the window for Gidget. "You okay, Gidget?" he asked, concerned. Gidget got up and said, "Never better now that I'm with you, Max." She hopped inside. "Say, where's the big guy?" she asked, noticing the absence of Duke. "Duke is spending the night at the bed," said Max. "He ate something that didn't sit well with him. He should be home tomorrow." "Well, I guess you and I have the nights to ourselves, Max," Gidget blurted. Max liked the idea and decided to go up to Gidget and started petting her. Gidget panted and wagged her tail. Then Gidget rolled onto her back. Max rubbed her belly. She murred in response. Then Max put his mouth on Gidget's stomach and blew a raspberry on it. Gidget erupted with laughter. She then got back up. "This sure is fun, Max," said Gidget. "We rarely get to spend quality time together." "I feel the same way," said Max. "What should we do now?" Gidget was about to say something, but suddenly her stomach growled. She chuckled nervously and said, "It sounds like my stomach is thinking about food right now." Max took Gidget over to his dog food bowl, which he hadn't eaten out of yet, and the two of them shared their meal. "I'm not sure what's going on with Katie," said Max. "She's been out a lot of evenings and rarely spends much time at home." "You know, it's funny you should say that," said Gidget. "My owners have been out for a long time, too. And I think Chloe, Buddy, and Mel have been telling me about something similar." "That does sound suspicious," said Max. "I say tomorrow night the six of us should have a meeting at my place to discuss it." It wasn't long until Gidget picked up the scent of her owners. "I gotta get back now, Max," said Gidget. "See you tomorrow." "See you, Gidget," said Max as Gidget went back to her apartment. Shortly after, Katie came walking in. Max greeted her like any friendly dog would. The next day, Duke returned from the vet feeling better than ever. Once all the owners left, Buddy, Mel, Chloe, and Gidget arrived at Max's apartment for a pet meeting. "Thank you all for coming," said Max. "The reason I called you all here is to discuss our owners. They seem to be out a lot of evenings." "Hey, I've noticed that myself," said Chloe. "My owners have been acting kind of funny," said Mel. "They've been speaking out loud and doing these weird poses." "Mine are doing that too," said Buddy. "They've also been saying a lot of the same things over and over again." It was then when Gidget figured out what was going on. "Guys, I think I just solved this mystery," she said. "Our owners are in a play." "They are?" Mel asked. "Ah, that explains everything," said Chloe. "What an honor," said Buddy. Max went to the side table and picked up a pamphlet that was sitting on it. It had info for the play. "This must be the play Katie's rehearsing for," he said. The pamphlet had the name of the play, the theater it was playing at, the days and times, and the ticket prices. "This looks really awesome," said Duke. "We should totally go and see our owners perform." "Hold on, Duke," Max interjected. "This is a public community theater. I don't think they allow pets in the theater." "Max is right, Duke," said Gidget. "We'll just have to miss their performances." She paused until suddenly a light bulb flash appeared over her head. "Unless we find a way to sneak in." The pets all listened to Gidget. "Listen, guys," she said. "Here's the plan. We'll sneak back into the theater and go in through the vent. And we can watch the play from up there. Is that brilliant or what?" "Hold on, Gidget," said Duke. "There's no way I'd be able to fit in those beds. I'm way too big." Haven't thought about that," said Gidget. "Wait," said Mel. "I've got a better idea. Places that don't allow dogs usually allow service dogs, so maybe we can find some random people, stay by their side, and pretend we're seeing eye dogs. How about that?" "Now, hold on, Sue." "And how are we going to get 6 other humans to cooperate with us on this? We can't talk to them, you know." "Yeah," Chloe. "And besides, I won't be able to play along because I'm a cat." Buddy then said, "Wait, I got it! Maybe we can sneak into the theater if we disguise ourselves as a human." "Hey, that's a great idea," said Gidget. "Not a bad idea at all, Buddy," said Max. "All in favor of Buddy's plan?" Everyone raised their right front paw. "The ayes have it," nodded Max. "My owner has a trench coat and fedora that we can use to disguise ourselves with," said Buddy. "And I think I might be able to find some loose change on the street so we can buy our tickets for the show," said Max. "Okay, guys," said Gidget. "Let's all meet Friday night at 6 and put this plan into action." Soon, Friday night came. The pets all assembled. Buddy got their disguise, and Max got their money. "Okay, guys, let's stack up," said Duke as he waited for the other pets to climb on top of him. Chloe climbed onto Duke first, then Mel got on Chloe, followed by Buddy, and then Gidget. "This is kind of awkward balancing myself like this," said Buddy. "Don't worry, Buddy," said Gidget. You'll get used to it." "Are you sure this is a good idea?" asked Chloe. "Of course it is," said Buddy. "We've discussed it the other night." "Just keep it steady down there," said Gidget. "We'll try, Gidget," said Mel. "Okay, Max," said Gidget. "You ready for you to get on top?" Max slowly approached the totem with the coat and hat. Before he got on Gidget's shoulders, he said to her, "You sure about this, Gidget? Don't you think you should be the one on top?" "It's okay, Max," said replied. "I'm a lot stronger than I look." Max shrugged and slowly climbed onto Gidget. The totem wobbled a little bit, and then the pets closed up the coat. "All right, Duke, let's go," said Max. Duke started to walk, but the rest were having trouble staying balanced. "Whoa, Duke, slow it down," said Max. "We need to keep it steady." "Sorry, Max," said Duke as he walked slower. They arrived at the box office right outside the theater. The woman behind the window was a bit weirded out at this tall man with a hairy face. You here to buy tickets for tonight's show?" she asked. Max hesitated, knowing that he couldn't speak to humans, but he did his best to make the lady buy it. He nodded. "We still have plenty of seats open for the show," said the woman. "How many would you like?" Max gulped and sweat dropped. He slowly lied on a bark, but did his best to make it sound like he was saying, "One." "One? Okay, that'll be $8, said the woman. As she printed out the ticket, the totem leaned on over the counter. Buddy placed his paw on it, placing the money on it. When the lady handed the ticket, the pud struck to look at it until Gidget poked her head and grabbed it with her teeth. Buddy pushed them back up, and they wobbled some more. Little did the pets know, the apartment dog walker happened to be at tonight's show too. He saw the pets. Max recognized the dog walker and quickly got everyone's heads back in the coat, and the coat back up. The dog walker blinked but shrugged it off, thinking he was seeing things. Duke turned in one direction and stopped. At that moment, Max noticed they were facing the entrance. "Forward, Duke," he said, and Duke slowly walked forward. Within seconds, they were in the lobby. Gidget peeked out of the coat. "All right, we're in," she whispered excitedly. "Oh, I can't wait," said Mel. "Me neither," said Buddy. "Okay, guys, keep it cool down there," said Max. "Yeah, we don't want to get too excited or we might get caught," added Gidget. "Okay, Max," said Duke. "Guide me. Which way should we go?" Max guided Duke over to the theater room. Before they entered, they stopped to let the usher tear their ticket. Max looked over his shoulder and saw the dog walker standing in the lobby. He hoped he didn't come near them, but it didn't take long for the usher to hand the stub back to them. Gidget grabbed the stub and told Duke to go inside. The pets wobbled their way to the seat. Once they got to their seat, they did their best to look like they were seated. Once seated, everyone peeked out of the coat. "Great seat, Max," said Gidget. "We can all see the stage perfectly." "I was worried I wouldn't be able to see the stage, but I guess I had nothing to worry about," said Duke. "I hope we don't get caught," said Chloe. "We'll be in the dark, so no one will notice," said Max. "Just remember to not make any noise during the show." On the inside, Max had a little trouble trusting everyone who was underneath him. He knew he could trust Gidget, but the others might be a risk. The lights soon dimmed and the play began. The pets enjoyed when they saw and were all impressed with their respective owners' performances. During the intermission, the pets decided it was best to just stay in their seat. After the play ended, Max told everyone to wait until most of the crowd left before attempting to leave. Once Max gave the signal, they all got themselves off the seat and straightened back up. Duke carried them back outside. However, while in the lobby, before they made it out the door, the pets bumped into a couple of people. The collisions caused Chloe's tail to start tickling Duke's nose. Duke tried holding his sneeze, but it was no use. He sneezed and caused the tower of pets to come crashing down. As soon as people noticed that this man was really 5 dogs and a cat, Max yelled, "Scram!" They all ran outside. Just when they thought they escaped the theater, who would they encounter but the dog catcher? Fortunately, the dogs were all wearing collars, so he let them go. But Chloe, being the only pet without a collar, was caught and taken away. "Chloe!" cried Max. "We gotta save her!" Gidget said desperately. "Yeah, but how?" asked Max. "Someone call for some help," said a familiar voice. Max turned around and saw Snowball. "Snowball, can you help us save Chloe?" he asked. "Say no more, dogs," said Snowball. "You pups just head on back to your homes and leave everything to me." The dogs all went back to their homes while Snowball took Tattoo and Ripper with them to save Chloe. They managed to save her successfully and get her back to the apartment. Later that evening, after the owners returned, Buddy Soda received a call from the theater saying that he left his coat at the theater. He thought that strange, but decided to go back to the theater anyway to retrieve it. When he got back, he said, "I don't remember taking my coat to the theater. How did it get here? And why does it smell like dog fur on the inside?" Buddy snickered. "He'll never find out," he said to himself. From that day on, the 6 pets decided that when they work together, they all make a great team. The end.